Star Wars Geek Girl. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Geek Girl. I'm Zoe, and as usual, I'm here with Lizzy,
Hello.
and we're going to talk about Star Wars. So obviously we have Andor to talk about, but we got some news that I'm very excited about, and I want to talk about it first.
Yes.
So Acolyte, or it's the Acolyte. I'm just going to call it Acolyte. Is a series they announced a while ago. I think at one of the big I think it was at the big the investors meeting where they also announced Rangers of the New Republic and like a lot of
hmm
like Lando, like a lot of stuff we haven't heard anything from. But so this is the first one we're hearing something from, which is very promising. So the Acolyte comes out at some point in the future. They just started filming, so probably a
Yes.
couple years off, but not terribly far. So they
Yeah.
announced the cast. Some of it they had announced, or a Hollywood Reporter or someone had broken like one at a time. The StarWars.com like officially announced the cast. So Amanda Stenberg is like the lead, and I love her so much. Best
Wasn't
person
she
ever.
Baby Rue?
She was Baby Rue. She was recently in Bodies, which is a really good movie. We love, I love Amanda Stenberg. Also, Lee Jung Jae, who most people have probably recognized as the Squid Game guy.
Yes. I do.
um, yes. And I know Squid Game got like memed to death, but I think that series was actually pretty good, and I think his performance was really good. So I'm
hmm
really excited to see what he brings to Star Wars. Manny Jacinto, I think Jacinto, Jacinto, I think sounds right. It is also announced he is in The Good Place. His character, what's his character's name in The Good Place? Oh man, I love that show.
Don't
Um,
remember. I like stopped after like the third season, second season.
no, it's so good. You gotta finish
No, I'm sure it was,
it.
but then it got really time travel-y, and I was like, oh God, I don't know how
That's
to
fair. That's
process
fair. But
this.
the ending, like, broke me. Like, absolutely destroyed me. Uh, so good. Jason Mendoza is his name. On The Good Place. He plays Jason in The Good Place.
Oh, I
Um,
love Jason.
he's the like really dumb guy. Uh, I don't think his character will be like Jason in this series. I also wouldn't be mad if it was. I just, could be fun. I'm excited to see what he
Yeah.
brings. Daphne Keene, who do I know her? I don't think I know her. Um, she's in his Dark Materials. I feel like a lot of people have seen that. I just have not. Jodie Turner Smith, who's in Queen and Slim, which I have not seen. Um, Rebecca Henderson, who's Inventing Anna, which I haven't seen, but I think my parents watched it or someone I know watched it. Charlie Barnett, who's in Russian Doll, which is a really good show. Um, Dean Charles Chapman, who's in 1917, and Carrie Ann Moss, who is in The Matrix and is super cool. Yeah, so those were 9 big cast members. Super excited. They also gave us like a solid premise for the series.
hmm
So it says The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy. Excuse me, into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are far more sinister than ever anticipated. That sounds so cool. High Republic,
Yes.
mystery thriller, weird force thing. I'm so for it. Um, yeah, super stoked for that. They did release a behind the scenes picture with Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jung Jae, and Leslie Hyland, who is the showrunner, producer, and directs the pilot episode, maybe a few others. Which is cool. My guess is Amanda will be the former Padawan and Lee Jung Jae will be the master. That's just my guess. But we'll see. I'm very curious. The phrase former Padawan gets me. Is it like, just like former Padawan, like not a Padawan anymore? Like just
I
graduated to master, or like an Ahsoka situation, you know?
I think probably just no longer like
Right, but also
not graduated.
yeah, but it also says reunite.
Mm.
Very curious. Very excited for this show. I love weird Force stuff. Like I love the Mortis arc in Clone Wars. So hope they have more weird Force stuff and dark mystery thriller sounds super cool. We love mystery. I'm very excited for the show. Also, the Leslie Hyland, who's the showrunner and executive producer, produced Russian Doll, which is a really good show on Netflix. Really funny, really interesting.
Sounds familiar.
Pretty good. Recommend. And then obviously Kathleen Kennedy's also working on it, as well as we have Simon Emanuel, Jeff F. King, and Jason McAuliffe, Rain Roberts, and Damian Anderson all on board. I don't really know those people besides Kathleen Kennedy, but very excited to see what they bring for the series. Super stoked. Yeah, we started filming, so it's only a matter of time.
When it didn't say when we were getting it, right? Not even a year.
No. I imagine it. Let me double check, but I don't think so. It says they've begun filming, but yeah, it just says it will be on Disney Plus, but we don't know when. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Amanda's wearing a. It's not Star Wars Visions, but it's like a Japanese Boba Fett shirt. That's kind of sick.
Nice.
Or at least a Mandalorian. I don't know if it's Boba Fett. It's black and white, but yeah, kind of sick. Cool shirt, Amanda.
Yes. Got
Yes, it's
drip.
Acolyte news. Yes, the drip is real. So it's the Acolyte news. I can't wait for High Republic stuff on screen. There's so much. I know the Art of the High Republic just came out. I have not gotten my hands on it yet. But I know just from like other High Republic things and pictures I have seen from that book, there's so many beautiful visuals that the High Republic has to offer, from costumes to some alien species sets that are sometimes a little less worn down than they are in normal Star Wars times, and I'm really excited to see that brought to life on screen. Mostly the white and gold robes because they're so cool and so pretty. And also to see like what's up with the dark side before Phantom Menace and everything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
interesting things coming. Super stoked for Acolyte.
What
For
they were
the
planning,
Acolyte.
what they were up to.
Yes. I know a lot of people have mentioned Plagueis would make sense to appear in this show. I'm not sure if that's the route they're going to go. I don't know if I want Plagueis or don't want Plagueis. I'm a bit ambivalent on it. I think whatever they do, as long as they do it well, which I'm sure they will. Yeah, Acolyte's gonna be so awesome. I'm super.
I hope it comes out soon.
I mean, they're filming now. We'll get it in a couple of years, I assume, unless something goes horribly wrong. And even if we did get a release date, Star Wars has given me such a distrust in release dates. So, no offense, Star Wars. It just happened too many times now. Um, you know,
Yeah.
so yeah. Speaking of awesome Star Wars TV that starts with an A, Andor.
Oh, I wanted to say, because my dad
say it.
made me do the notes for the podcast. And when I podcasted with him yesterday, that was hard because he wanted me to take every screen cap available of the show. And it was 3 episodes.
Oh, yes, right.
But so I also looked into the news, which it was pretty much just Acolyte, and then also Val is getting a toy, a Black Series toy.
Yes.
I
A
thought that was
toy of
cool.
Vel.
Yeah.
Now I need my toy of Cinta
Mm-hmm. And
for
then they can go
reasons.
on a date.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I hope Andor gets some merch. I don't need it to be like Mandalorian level, like, with how much Grogu merch there is. I don't need that much.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think Andor could up its merch game a little bit. So
Yes.
hopefully, as the series goes on, we get more. Hopefully, I can get Andor in Fortnite.
Yes.
I really want to blow people up as Mon Mothma, mostly because I think that would be really funny.
Yes. I agree.
You know?
I agree with all these.
I won't say how much money I spent on Fortnite. It wasn't a ton, but it wasn't a
My
lot.
dad also did. He literally called me. He was like, "Hey, I have all the Star Wars characters in case you wanted to play." And I was like, "Well, I've been playing Overwatch lately, but yes, thank you for your."
I didn't get all of them. I couldn't justify that for where I am right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I got a couple. But yeah, I added up like, okay, how much would it be to get all of them? Then I was like, nope, not right now. Not when I have an unpaid internship. In the future, when May the 4th rolls around, I'm sure they'll put them back in the shop. But right now, it's like I cannot.
Yeah.
I simply can't. I'm waiting for them to drop that Ahsoka and Sabine when Ahsoka comes out. Honestly, that's where I'm out. That's where I'm at.
The only thing I want to like buy is the just ingredients to make that wine with the little worm.
Did I send you that recipe? StarWars.com made a recipe.
Yes, my dad sent me one, and then you sent me one. And I was like, perfect.
We knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it seems pretty simple, so maybe I can try. But it'll have to be with like soda instead of like wine.
You're a baby.
Yeah, a little bit. Just 1 year off. Like a few months off, if anything. Yeah.
Of course. See, you know what I was saying when I was over here? I was like, listen, it's going to be midnight on the East Coast where I was born at 9 p.m. when I turned 21. So I feel like I should have been able to drink at 9 p.m. September 18th. I was 21 in the location of my birth. But I guess that would work the opposite for you if you're on the East Coast.
Well, I still have a few months to go, but yes, I can't just be like, hey, over somewhere else, a few months, like in the future.
In the future, I will not be able to drink until 3 a.m. because I was born on the West Coast.
Yeah. Which I don't have the money to wait until like midnight and then immediately go to a store and then do it. So it'll probably have to wait.
That's okay. I believe you.
Yeah. That's all right.
Wait, how is it cheaper? How do you not have the money to wait till midnight and then but you do the money to do it later?
Well, I have to wait till my next paycheck.
Oh, I get it. I wasn't thinking. I was like, wait, does the price go up?
No, but like I also don't have the mental capacity to get up and be like, it's time, my brother.
I understand.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Andor is not 21.
No,
he can drink
a little
however
bit
much.
He's still older. He can, and I'm sure he does. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode was intense. So good. I feel like every week I'm like, this episode was so intense and so good. Because they all are. But
Hmm.
really, really
Yeah.
good.
I really like
Spoiler,
this one.
yeah, spoiler-free impressions. Screw Cyril. I don't want him in a jar anymore. I want him to die. Just
He's
that man,
creepy.
that man trash.
Like I didn't know
Um
he could get creepier.
it's because like you were always saying like the eyes, right? And I was like, yeah, like I see like he has a very intense gaze. And then there's like that scene. I was like, oh my God, the eyes making it so much worse.
Yeah, it's the face, it's the things that he is now doing, and
Yeah, no,
it's
the
no
man
bueno.
he needs to be like put down. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I don't think I think the human version of that is just dying.
sure.
Is that not
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah, there's honestly I really can't talk about this episode without spoilers, so we're just gonna do it, I think.
Okay, sounds good.
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Spoiler free is awesome. Go watch it.
Yes.
Uh
Do it.
yes. Spoiler time. So we start with Deidre and Bix. Man, Deidre is like such a good she's like such a good like antagonist. And then she's like a protagonist in her own little story, and there's moments where you're like rooting for her, and then she like does something. I'm like, oh, you're horrible.
Yeah, you're
Um,
bad.
but the show is so well written where they can like easily frame her in the next scene when you're like, oh no, like you got it, Deidre, and like, no, wait, you just did that. Stop it. Stop making me feel bad for you.
Mhm.
It's such good writing in the show, man.
She's also
Um,
just really smart too. So like,
yeah, she honestly, is gonna make me mad at me, but like, I don't know, like I feel like people are always like, oh, like Thrawn, like he's the mastermind character, and he is. But I feel like Deidre is so much more compelling for me to watch. Like I love watching her mastermind much more than Thrawn, I think. Because I think because where Thrawn fails is like talking to people and like actually getting their loyalty and like navigating the social parts. And she does that so well. Like I think if Thrawn and Daedra decided to team up, they'd be like unstoppable.
yeah, that's what I kind of said, and I feel like it's not like enough of a description, but Thoron is very strategic, manipulative, but like Deidre is very like emotionally and like people manipulative.
Mhm. And the thing is, like, she is also strategic. Like, she has
Yeah,
these plans to do stuff across the whole galaxy.
but she
And
has like both, which is good.
yeah. And that's where, like I said, like, I think where Thrawn's weakness is people. Deidre doesn't have that. I'm
Hmm.
not really sure what I would say her weakness is yet. I'm not sure if she has one. I don't know if we're quite there. Because she's doing
Yeah,
very
yeah,
well. She
yeah.
hasn't really failed yet. So when that inevitably happens, I'll be curious to see how it goes down.
Yeah, how she handles it too.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because one thing is, I think Thrawn can kind of handle failure. Like he definitely gets angry about it, but he can roll with it a little bit. Like we saw that in Zero Hour. And
Hmm.
Deidre, we haven't seen it yet, but to me, Deidre seems like someone where like she might not be able to handle it very well. And that could be her weakness. So interesting.
Hmm.
She's such an interesting character.
Especially since everything, like you said, is going so right recently.
Yeah, yeah. Right now she's doing very well. Um,
Yeah. Girl
she
boss.
knows, yeah, no, literally, she knows more than like anyone else. Seems to in the Empire, like she's the one that has it together. Uh, it's very fascinating. So we open with her and Bix, and she, asks her some questions. This is when she says her fish line. I thought of you.
Yeah.
And
I still don't get it.
I feel like it makes sense, I think, right? Okay. Here's I think it makes more sense now. Okay. So she casts her net and she brings in bits. So
Yes.
she's looking, so what she's asking is like, is Bix just another fish in her net? Like one of the many people on Ferrix she can use or throw back into the water? Or is Bix a thief with malicious intent?
Yes.
Like,
I feel
if
like she could have used like another type of fish.
Oh,
or
for
something
sure.
as an analogy.
It's not the greatest analogy. But
Like-
sometimes you're fishing and you pull up the net and it's like, hey, there's a guy in there. That's a thief.
I think it would have been funny if she was like, "Are you a fish or a catfish?" Like, I don't know.
Like,
I have no
catfish
idea.
are fish. So it'd have to be like two different kinds of fish.
A fish,
Or like a
lobster,
fish or a lobster, or like a shark.
or like
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not the greatest analogy, but that's Deidre's actual weakness. Her a slightly unclear analogy.
Yeah,
but I got it.
I think I'm a fish.
I don't know what this means, but I think I got it. It was more like, are you just like another one of the many people here,
Another
or
lame
are you someone
fish?
Or are you someone that's with an agenda? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fish don't have an agenda. Fish is fish.
that we know of.
I guess that's true. Has anyone talked with a fish?
No,
Aquaman has.
no, I haven't watched that movie. I think
Me
heard
neither.
it was good.
I have not either. I watched Black Adam though last week.
What's that?
It's another DC movie starring The
Oh.
Rock.
Was it good?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything like super. This sounds mean. It wasn't anything like super special. Like, it wasn't like, I feel like, like it was definitely a superhero movie. And I had a good time watching it. And I thought the characters were interesting. Honestly, I thought the other superheroes were a bit more interesting than Black Adam, personally. I thought, it's a good time. I'd watch it again. But it wasn't like, I don't know, like I walked out of like, what's another movie? Like Into the Spider-Verse. Walked out of Spider-Verse like, oh my god, best superhero movie ever. Like, this is crazy. Like, so hype. And Black Adam, I was like, yeah, that was a movie.
Yeah,
But it's still
that
good.
seems fair.
I would, I had AMC A-list, so like I can watch a bunch of movies. So I wasn't really like, oh, I spent like $15 or whatever a movie ticket is now. Like,
It just
a movie.
was.
It was fine. I had a good time. It's you watch a buff dude throw some guys around and watch another buff dude punch him, and watch a lady in a cool outfit do magic-y things. Good time. Can't complain.
Yeah. All right.
Good talk. Back to the torture of Vix Colleen.
That man is also creepy.
Oh my
He's
god,
real,
that dude,
and
Dr.
him should be
Gorse.
friends.
No, honestly, they would probably get along. It was very creepy, and especially because like when they first cut to him, and she's like, "Oh, Dr. Gorse has a way of interrogating." It's like, oh, they're gonna torture her. You just don't know how yet. And they cut to the doctor, and for that split second, he's just like a guy. He's like a normal looking guy.
This is a dude.
And that I think was the scariest part. Like, I feel like so I was like, oh, we're gonna bring the torture doctor in, and then it's like an old, like, mad scientist looking guy or something, and he's got like or they have like the like weird like torture-y outfits or something. And this is just like a guy in a little scientist outfit. And I think that was because it was more realistic in a way. I think that made it a lot scarier.
Yeah,
it was really well done.
I'm sure he's also more of just like a scientist as well of whatever the heck like he created. And in that instance,
well,
but I don't know.
and the guy's so cute. He's like excited about it. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" So he's like, so he's like, "Okay, so I have this like vintage record. Not sure if you've heard of it. It's the sound of children dying in a genocide. Like,
Yeah.
it's like very, and he's like very happy about it. Very weird. And he's like super excited, and he's like, like it can make you go to mad. Like they kind of been like, oh, it can make you go mad. You don't want repeat exposure to it, sucks. And it's such a well done, very scary scene. And they put the headphones on her and the sound like pretty much cuts. And you just get like that like ringing kind of noise. And you see Bix. The actress did such an incredible job because it's just her eyes and it's like you can see the like horror and pain and she screams and we cut away. But really shout out to
Bix.
Adria, the summer name, Adria Aljanja. Is that it? I gotta look it up because I think she did a really good job.
Yeah,
Adria Arjona. Adria Arjona.
Mm-hmm. I every time a torture thing happens, I'm like, yeah, would I survive that? I think maybe, perhaps.
I don't know, man. I couldn't.
I feel like I would prefer it other than
Bro,
like
did
anything
you
else.
see her? No way. Did you see her after? She looked like about to die from a SoundCloud mixtape.
It was that bad.
It's that bad.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like, I feel like I would prefer that over any other like particular like knives and like needles and blah blah.
No
blah.
way, man. Because you understand a knife is a blade and it's gonna cut you. You get that. Your brain can comprehend that. This is like alien children making a sound that makes you go insane as they die. I can't comprehend that. But I see the knife. I'm like, all right, that's gonna hurt. I get that.
I I don't know. I don't think I would, but it's funny to say that I could because I know very much in my heart I could not.
I'm built different. I just can. I'm better.
Yeah, I'm stronger. But yeah, so she was knocked out. Not knocked out like she fell asleep, but she like got knocked like bad from that. Which is horrifying. Because we never like again, like we saw like Princess Leia and like Hera technically get tortured and stuff, but like never something as like weird as that. Like children
very like
screaming.
specific and like experimental. Yes, is the word.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, it was very intense. And again, shout out to Adria. I already forgot it. Adria Jonah. For that performance. Seriously, we could only see half her face, and it was so intense for just a few seconds.
I like the headphones though. Pretty cool headphones.
Headphones kind of slap. I'm sure someone will make those.
Yeah.
They'll sell on the Galaxy Dash. Straight up, like, hey, when torture headphones.
Yeah.
We got you.
You want to try them out? No, why not?
Yeah, man. So up to that point, Deidre had been asking Big's questions. She didn't really care about Cassian as much. She's much more interested in Luthen. She calls it the buyer or Axis. And she's asking Bix isn't really cooperating, but she's also like, Bix is like, I don't know who he is, and like,
which is like fair because she kind of doesn't.
And Deidre's like, you've met him 6 times, like trying to get something, trying to learn about like what kind of relationship Cassian and Luthen had, and Bix is like sort of uncooperative, but also like she really doesn't know
Yeah, so
all
like
the things,
it's yeah, but
like
then
she,
that's when Bix is like, you're not even gonna believe me anyway. And she's
yeah,
like, no, not really.
and then but the torture headphones on her.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
eventually I think she does reveal some stuff, right?
Yeah, well, so and this is like we'll jump around a little bit later.
I figured put it like in sections because I know the
Yeah,
show does go back and forth a lot.
show goes back and forth. Yeah, I'm just
Um,
scrolling through Wikipedia to make sure we cover everything. I'm just like jumping through that. Yeah, so they torture her and then
the other
Deidre's like, oh, keep
Imperial,
her alive. She's the only one that knows access. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they're like, what should we do with the other man who was the father
the
of the
shopkeeper.
shopkeeper who let her use his radio Morse code thing?
Hmm.
And the father of, I don't know his name, but he has a hoodie in Star Wars,
Hoodie,
so I
hoodie
hoodie
teenager
boy,
boy. Yeah,
hoodie
hoodie
boy.
boy.
They're like, what do we do with him? And they're like, oh, we'll just hang him in the square, so that people stay in line. Like, yeah, man,
Yeah,
very
it's rough
very
out
rough.
there.
Poor hoodie boy. I don't think we ever see more from that, like from his reaction or anything. Uh, yeah, and then we don't actually see Deidre asking Bix more questions after the torture. We see Bix like clearly very messed up from the torture, but I don't think we actually see that scene, but we later have Deidre giving a bunch of information in a report from ISD. And she
Hmm.
talks about how she got it from Bix Colleen's interrogation. And I think she even admits, like, yeah, she didn't know his name. Like, she's like, we don't have his name yet. Like, she didn't know that. It's like, but you all, like, she basically told you a
Yeah,
lot already. Like, um, yeah, man, crazy, craziness.
yeah.
If you want to head to prison now, I think we can talk about the prison part.
Prison?
Do we want to talk
Yes.
about cereal or prison first?
Let's do cereal
Cereal first.
because we
I
love
agree.
cereal here.
I agree. That's connected to Deidre.
Yeah.
Um, so we see Deidre like giving reports to ISB, basically saying like she hasn't really found anything. She talked about Andor, and she's the first one to be like, I think Cassian Andor from Ferrex was on Aldani, and people are kind of like that's not connected. Like what? Um, but Deidre, and this is her being like super smart and attentive to detail. She's like, well, Bix said Cassian had shaved his beard between his two stints on Ferrex, like lots of little details. That
Yeah,
they
I
are able
thought
to match up.
that was very what's it called? Uh Phoenix Wright, like Ace Attorney kind of thing.
Oh my
Very
gosh, I
attention to
kind of want a
detail.
Star Wars lawyer game like that. Now that you say it, that could be fun.
Yes, I think
And then
my mom should be
anytime
the
your
star of the
client,
show.
yes, anytime your client gets accused and be like, "That's false," a changeling impersonated my client.
It would very
That's
much be similar to like the any like law thing that we saw in She-Hulk, kind of,
mm.
which would be interesting, but then it would be Star Wars.
Dude, I would love like a She-Hulk show in Star Wars, like that kind of vibe. That would be
Hmm.
pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I love She-Hulk. I miss that show.
It's only
Yeah.
been gone for like
So
a few weeks.
I miss her. I don't know what you want from me. Um. So Deidre um also mentions that they're watching Marva. They didn't interrogate her, but they're watching her to see if Cassian comes back. So now Marva has the Empire watching her, Brasso is watching her. I don't know if Vix is watching her anymore. Vix
Well,
needs a break.
Cinta is.
And Cinta's watching her. So that poor woman has no privacy anymore.
No. Like, she's the safest of the safe.
Marva is the star of the show.
Got all eyes on her.
Yeah. She is in the spotlight. What else does Deidre do before we get to Serial? Besides what she does with Serial, but we'll get to that. Deidre finds out that they found a pilot who had stolen something and he was a prisoner. They sent creepy Dr. Gorst to that pilot. So RIP to him. They talk about the pilot and stuff. And it kind of helps to support Deidre's theory about Rebel stuff being more connected. Things than they previously thought. And so Deidre's super smart. She's like, oh, what if we just have the ship drift into traffic and make it explode and look like an accident? Then they won't think the rebels he's with won't think the Empire's onto them. And it's like, you're so crazy. Like, I would never think about it.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah. So that's another Deidre thing. Before that, we have Serial. The Serial.
I love Serial.
In a suit. Dude, I hate this guy now. Literally. He sucks. The only person I actually probably hate more than him. No, I hate him more than Perrin. He sucks.
What about Makma's husband?
That's Perrin.
Yeah, Perrin.
Yeah, that's Perrin. I think I hate him more than Perrin right now. I think he is more entertaining than Perrin, though.
Yeah.
It's very fun to watch him be a little loser. Perrin, I'm just like, you are so trash, bro.
Yeah, my dad hates Perrin so much.
Sucks.
He's burning
horrible.
hatred.
We'll get to him. Perrin made me yell at my TV last week. I'm not even kidding. I hate that guy. I'm really trying not to curse on this podcast, but I hate that guy.
It's awful.
He sucks. Anyway, so Serial's in a little outfit. And mom's like, oh, like you came home late. She's like, I left you dinner. Except we only ever see him eat cereal. So does he eat cereal for dinner?
Like, yeah, I don't think she's actually cooked. Like, you know,
I feel like we've only seen breakfast scenes. So like but it's like he only eats cereal, dude. You're gonna get scurvy. Eat something. Eat a vegetable cereal.
When I was on the podcast with my dad, I was like, yeah, literally, he needs to get up and make some eggs, like just once.
Eat something, dude.
If he's vegan, he needs to make something. Like, I don't care at this point. Just eat something, not cereal.
I had respectable potatoes and vegetables for breakfast. Eat some potatoes and vegetables. You know,
I made myself breakfast too. I had soy chorizo with eggs and tater tots.
Soy chorizo is good.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, eat like real food. I love cereal too. Don't get me wrong. I got a giant box of Reese's Puffs right below me, but I also eat other things.
Sometimes you gotta grow up and make yourself a little breakfast.
And it's not even like he's not even eating like, you know. And here's the thing. No, there aren't kid and adult cereals, but he literally only eats these little blue caramel, like Trix looking. Like, come on, cereal. Trix are for kids. Eat like, you know, if you're gonna eat cereal, don't eat like. If you're gonna only eat cereal, eat like Cheerios or something. Like, eat something that's not just pure sugar.
I don't like cereal, but I like Honey Bunches of Oats.
That's good. Just something that's not only sugar. If that's gonna be your only meal,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I can't have sugar. I can't have sugar for breakfast. It makes me nauseous.
Maybe it's the blue. Maybe that powers his eyes. Maybe that's what's going on.
It fuels him. And his
Anyway.
face.
Anyway, so Cyril mentioned she's like searching his room, which is weird. Don't do that. But then also he's like, I can tell you're in my secret box. Then I'm like, well, what's in your secret box, dude? That's weird. I don't have a secret box. What's in? They never say what's in there, man. What's in your secret box?
Gotta tell us. Apparently, it's like his diary at this point. Like,
I don't even. I feel like then wouldn't he say diary? Like, what? What's in a box, dude? Like,
maybe like an old uniform.
but why would he? Why is it a secret box? Why is it a secret?
It's
He is
probably
so
like
creepy, man.
it's
He is so creepy. Like, dude, in the box.
Yeah, he needs.
I
he
really
needs
hope
help.
they show us what's in his secret box. I really need to know. Because Jesus Christ, man.
I wonder if it's like, because we haven't mentioned anything about his dad. I wonder if it's like pictures of his dad or something depressing,
Maybe. But
something edgy,
I don't know,
something
man.
that
But
made
then,
him
like,
weird.
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know. He's so creepy. That's a red flag. Like your secret box.
I
Like,
mean, you can have a secret box, but like
I
for
get.
him,
I don't know.
it's
I think it was
weird.
like the way he said it. He's like, "You've been in my secret box." And it's like, bro,
No one calls it a secret box.
like my secret box. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you just have a box of stuff and someone like is for it, and you're like, "Oh, there's private stuff in there." It's like, "Oh, chill." You're like,
Oh,
"Don't
my
touch my secret box."
It's got my things in there. You wouldn't understand, Mom.
Yeah.
But also, she
He's like,
said,
how old is he?
Stop.
He's like 30. He's probably like 30. Like,
oh well, yeah, because
too
he had
old
to
to be
have gone like to
he's too old to be
school.
acting like this. Dude, I mean, not that you can't have like a private box or, it's not anything like I don't know, but it's like the way he acts and talks about everything. It's like, dude,
We're not shaming, but we're shaming.
well, yeah, I mean, it's nothing like, I don't know, not like, oh, like he lives with his mom. Like, no, nothing like that. It's just like the way he is. Like, dude, you need to stop.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, his mom is like roasting him, and at this point, I don't even care anymore. She can roast him all she wants.
Yeah, I wanted
It's
to
just
tell
sad
us
at
what's
this
in the
point.
box. No, he's so weird. And she's like, "You've been coming home late, like doing those things," and he's like, "Oh, I was promoted, and my work hours are increased." And she's like, "Oh my God, Uncle Harlow's gonna be so happy," and Cyril just
Yeah,
like sits there and stares because
'cause
he's lied.
he got a promotion, and then she pours him some more cereal.
Yeah, this is celebratory.
That's the
So
third meal.
yeah, I mean, so I guess they only really talk in the mornings. I guess he stays late. He doesn't actually stay late for work, but he says he's late for work or whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah, I hate him. Then we get to that scene. He decides go outside. And you're like, oh, what's Serial doing outside? We haven't seen him outside in quite a while when you think about it.
Oh my God.
And then Deidre walks by and he like runs out and stops her.
Yeah, he's like, hey, hi.
Oh, and she's like, thank you for getting my promotion. And she's like, oh, like, I just told them you were healthy. Like, I didn't do anything about that, you know? So he like goes on his little like speech, like trying to get her to be like I can help you, like I can help you find Andor, which isn't even really her priority as much as Luthen is.
Yeah.
It's like, I can help you find Cassie. I can like help you restore order. And she's like, you shouldn't, like, what are you doing here? And he's like, sometimes I hang out outside of your work to see if I see you. And it's like, what? Bro, it's so creepy. Like literally nightmare fuel. And his gaze is very intense. And he's like, she tries to like walk away and he like grabs her arm and
Literally.
she's like, dude, like we literally just had a routine interrogation. Like it's literally nothing. And he's like, when I met you, my hope, my reason to live was restored. And it's like, dude,
Stop.
so creepy. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh
Like
man.
third-hand
This is
embarrassment.
this is one of those scenes where it's like I'm so with Deidre. Like I'm like, man, because so we've all women have been there a little bit, maybe not as drastic as this, like been there in some way, and it's like, bro, you need to die like right now.
Drop dead right here and go away. Stop harassing women
like,
at their workplace.
he's so he like goes on his whole thing. He's like, you gave me a reason to believe again, and it's like, and she's like, I don't even like. You're like a footnote in my report. Like, what? And she's like, you need to stay away from me, or like I can make your life very difficult. It's like, you go, girl. And then she like, does fascism in the next scene, but yeah,
Awful.
so creepy. This is like this is like his main scene. His whole existence in this episode was with his mom in that scene, and it was horrible. Absolutely terrifying, dude. Yeah, yeah, man,
It certainly
crazy.
was.
He's like insane, like genuinely. Like he was already, like first 3 episodes, you're like, yeah, this dude's like a little bit weird, like very intense, and he's like fully like off his rocker, like
Yeah, like I I applaud the actor for making them this horrid because
yeah.
like, I'm sure this is definitely how he's supposed to be and it's
Hmm.
awful and he's doing a great job at it.
He is no, and it's like a really great commentary on like how radicalization can kind of prey on a specific type of person, and when someone's down on their luck, they can like fall down a pipeline, and like how creepy this behavior is. But like, dude, it was like the worst thing, and also like kind of the best thing to watch. And then you go on Twitter and people are like, oh my gosh, Cyril was so romantic. And it's like, shut up.
What?
No, but someone said that and I was like, bro. And it's like, I'm getting Raylo vibes. And I was like, yeah, me too, but not in the same way.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay, so when I did watch it, I was like, there's no way that people are going to interpret this as like romantic,
man.
right?
People
Because
don't
like look at
interpret.
her face. Look at her face. She's horrified. Like she's not like, "Oh, hey, what do you stalk me? Wow, that's like so lit."
Oh
No,
my
she's
God.
horrified. Like any woman would be if a man was like, "Hey, I wait outside of your office every day just to talk to you." Like, oh my God, that's awful. Yeah, no,
Bro, people are going to interpret things. Yeah, man. I like, it's like, Twitter. Dear
like
God.
even Raylo is like a problem. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, man.
no, no me gusta. Anyway, he's gross. She needs to
He's so
report
good.
him. And
I
that's the end of
yeah,
that relationship.
yeah. I do think it is funny how he is very obsessed, and Deidre's kind of mentioned like we gotta catch this Cassian Andor guy, and they got him. They have they have
Yeah.
Cassian.
They
They just
literally have him.
they think he's Keith.
Like he just
Keith,
Keith.
Keith Gergo.
My thing is like, why don't they have like fingerprints or like like
There's not like they
anything.
have no, but like they have a picture. They have a hologram of his head.
Right.
Like
So
you
like
didn't scan that when you put him in like it
when
really
you
you know and it
imprisoned
goes
him in prison,
yeah and does I think it's definitely like it goes to show like the Empire's so big. It's basically like a tick that has so much blood in it it can't even move, and its gluttony has reduced its effectiveness.
where'd you hear
Like it's
that?
well, when a tick, if you have a tick on you too long and it sucks all your blood and it can't move anymore,
We
it's
don't
the
got
same kind.
ticks in California. Not
Really?
that I know of.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Um,
We
I did
also
have
just
ticks
I
in
also just don't
Pennsylvania.
go outside.
You also don't have grass for ticks to hide
Yeah, I
in.
literally don't have grass. Have you
So
seen my
I
parents'
just think
house?
California
Like,
in general, there's not grass. And if there is, it's fake a lot of the
yeah,
times.
we had fake
Um,
grass for a bit, and then my mom didn't like it, and then she put rocks. So we had rocks for a while. Now we have like whatever herbs my grandma's growing. So
oh my goodness.
it's also concrete.
Yeah. So
Um,
you don't get ticks.
no, I
Um,
don't.
People get ticks. It's just it's a the idea is that the empire is so massive,
Mhm.
it's
Well,
loses its
but
effectiveness.
like, where'd you
You
hear?
know?
Like, is that a saying?
No, it's just an analogy I
Okay, I wasn't.
made.
Oh, it's really good. That's why I was like, oh, where did you
Oh,
get that?
I can have.
Never
Can I
heard
do
of
it
it.
sometime?
No, it was
Okay.
really good. I was like,
Oh my
dang,
gosh.
I've never heard of
Okay.
that.
I was just thinking about. I don't know. I was thinking about ticks. I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Better than Deidre. I'm
It's
better
really
than
good.
Deidre at analogies.
Yes, I agree. I
Thank you.
understood it more.
Thank you. Yeah, the Empire. And because of that, like maybe, and like especially with like these prisons, maybe they're so focused on like just bringing people in for labor, for manpower, that they're not maybe going through the whole due process. Like we know Caspian, Keith didn't really get a due process in his court, just by way of being fair. So they probably skipped some steps and just let Keith go into jail. Also, with the
They
galaxy being
literally
so
have
big,
him.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that look a lot alike. I mean, there's people, on our little planet, just one planet, look a lot alike. You know,
Mhm.
galaxy's huge.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I feel like
Yeah, no,
they need a better system because
they're
they literally
so
have him.
incompetent. If Deidre was in charge, wouldn't happen. Deidre was in charge of everything,
Yeah.
but it does.
So yeah. So they're looking for him, but he's not
They
going
got him.
anywhere.
He is a fish in the net.
Yes.
They have so many fish
He's a fish named Keith.
named Keith. Keith Gergo. That's a fish name. That's a fishy name.
Yeah.
Um, so
Keith Sushi.
do we want to talk about what do we have left? We have Mothma left and we have Keith left. Do we want to do Mothma or Keith first?
Mothma.
Mothma. We're gonna finish off with Keith. That's the best way to do it because I really want to
Yes.
finish off with Keith. Mothma. So Mothma is in the Senate doing a little speech. It's like, you go, girl. And then people are
Yeah.
like booing her.
Slay.
She's not even like, she's like, hey, maybe the Empire shouldn't be able to like control everything but our lives. People are like, boo.
Yeah. It's also just so interesting to see because like that's such like childish behavior. Like, and to think that these senators of planets are doing that, it's like it's
Wasn't terribly unbelievable.
no, it definitely wasn't. But like I was like, really? Oh, really?
um, yeah, yeah. She's like, and because she's being, and like she said to Tay, she's like she's being an annoyance, and not being like not true to herself, but also not going all the way like she is with her actual rebel activity. So she's not even like being super intense about it. She's like, this is not good, guys. Like we should be able to not like should be able to like do things. She's specifically talking about the order put in place after Aldani, which just lets the throw people in jail forever. She's like, maybe we shouldn't do that. And all these senators
Maybe
who
that's
don't have to worry about, or think they don't have to worry about being put in jail. We know the Empire doesn't really care too much about what happens to senators later. But she's like, maybe like we shouldn't just be able to throw random people in jail for whatever we want. People are like, boo, you suck. And it's like, okay.
Like,
That's
interesting reaction.
And that's, you know, how the Empire works. You know, if it didn't have, you know, the Empire's obviously powerful, but didn't have people like that, enough people like that, then it would not have been as effective. It's like, yeah, and Mavna has a little speech about, she's like the Senate used to be like a temple where we like spoke and like did our thing and like we respected it, and now you're booing me. It's interesting. It definitely, that scene reminded me of Padme in Revenge of the Sith when she's like, everyone's clapping. Palpatine's like, I'm the Emperor now, and everyone claps. And Padme's like, this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. It's very much, you know, people cheering on something that ultimately hurts them. So then Mothma leaves and gets into her fancy little car. Excuse me, her little car.
She's
and the
tired. She
like,
looks so tired.
She's so tired. Poor lady. Poor my Mothma. Yeah. She gets in the car and the driver is like, oh, your cousin's here. And she's like, what? And I'm like, what?
My cousin.
And she's very like startled. She's like, my cousin's here already. Like, I'm like, it's interesting. And then she gets back to her house and there's Lita's there and her cousin is Vel.
Yeah, that was
she's
quite
not Luthen's daughter, unless Luthen is her uncle, which I don't think it is. She's not Luthen's daughter, but she is Mothma's cousin. Whoa.
You were on like the vicinity of the hill. Your hill was like close.
My hill was very close. I was on the wrong hill, but I was like on the hill next to it.
Yeah. That was really interesting. And then just because at first when she went to meet Luthen's assistant, I thought that was like a cover. I was like, wow, she cleaned up really nice. But no, that's just like her. That's her rich person, her rich persona. Like,
yeah, and it gives context to what Cinta said last episode about her little dig about like, oh, I'm a rich girl running away from my family.
She was like, dang, cold.
Yeah. So she is a Mothma cousin. Which is pretty cool.
Which is interesting.
And Mothma is like, Vel, you should go back to Chandrila. Like, you know, our relatives are worried about you. They asked me, and it becomes clear pretty quickly that Mothma not only obviously knows Vel, but knows that Vel is working with Luthen and is involved in the rebellion, and they're a little bit in this together, which is nice. And Vel, they don't really talk about specifics with what they're doing for, you know, safety reasons, of course.
I think it makes it a lot more like understanding why Mothma was specifically upset with Luthen about Aldhani, though.
Yes, because to her, this is also putting her cousin in danger, who she clearly cares for. They seem somewhat close, even though there's things they can't talk about. There's also a scene with Leda, her daughter, where she has Vel brought her a new dress. It's very nice. Great aunt. We love Vel. Number one aunt. And Leda tries it on and comes back. And Mothma just makes like a little joke. She's like, oh, you'll have to ask your father if you can wear that. And she's like, he lets me wear what I want. It's like, okay.
It's like, weird. Okay.
Poor Mothma, man. She can't win.
Yeah. No,
she gets booed. She gets booed in the Senate. She gets booed at home. Poor lady. So then they have dinner with Val. And this is when I yelled at my TV. Bro, Perrin needs to, oh man.
He's like
I think I hate
as like Disney and Lucasfilm could make him like
Yeah,
without like making it too bad.
I think Cyril is probably objectively worse, but Perrin makes me so much angrier. He sucks so bad.
Like he's like awful. Cyril is just creepy.
Yeah. So Perrin's like, "Oh, are you going back to Chandrila?" And Vel says she is, which we also know. Vel, and I think this was after, but Vel and Moth have a conversation, and Moth was like, "Look, Vel, you gotta just pretend to be the spoiled rich girl for a little bit, like to, so people don't get suspicious." And so Vel's going back to Chandrila to kind of do that. And Perrin's like, "Oh, well, when are you going to find a husband?" And Vel is like, "Oh, I'm not really, obviously, she's a Sninta. She's like, "Oh, not really looking for one right now." And then he's like,
on my agenda.
He's like, "You're an old hag. Like, you better hurry up. You're too old for marriage. Like, sorry, some people don't get arranged marriage at 15.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I think
Poor
it was
Leda. That's her father, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Old.
It's like
Belle is so young, dude. Oh man, he sucks. He just.
I wish since like, because
no Star Wars character has made me angrier than him.
I feel like
him.
if Vel,
even Price, I hate Price, but he makes me so mad.
I feel like Vel, like, because Mothma, Vel's like, anything you need help with, anything you need, and then Mothma's like, no, it's whatever, just go be a spoiled rich girl. And then I wish she was like, hey, can you tell my kid to stop being a jerk and to listen to me and not her dumb father? Like, you're the aunt, you're the cool aunt. Like, she'll listen to you.
Yeah, maybe someday. Yeah, he's horrible. And then he kind of has a little dig at Mothma, kind of hinting that he really thinks there's an affair with her and Tay. I think it's funny. Someone else pointed this out on Twitter. I forget who it was, so I can take credit for it. But someone pointed out that there's like 2 times Mothma is suspected of rebel activity, and the cover-up is that she's having an affair for Tay. And then also in the Leia book, with that dinner party scene with Tarkin, when Breha and Mon Mothma and Bail obviously also kind of play into it. Like a scene of Bail having an affair with Mothma. Like Mothma, so they said like, oh, like, people are gonna look at Mothma and be like, she can't be doing rebel things. She's got her own messy affairs going on.
Yeah.
I think that book actually takes place before this show too.
It's also
it's book's a little bit after, but yeah.
It's also sucky because he's got the kid on that too.
I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. And it's hard because it really does look like that. Like,
yeah,
really, like, he sucks. Don't get me wrong, but I can't blame him for thinking that. I can blame him for everything else, but it definitely looks like that. Like, from the outside, but she can't even defend herself. She can't be like, "Oh, we're doing rebel things. Don't worry." Like,
that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Like, there's no defense.
I feel like to me, like, he should know, which I'm sure he doesn't, that she doesn't like him. They don't like each other. Like, doesn't matter.
He does not like her. Let's be real. You don't.
So like, what's the point? Why does he care anyway if that's happening? Like,
man, you got arranged marriage at 15.
Yeah, and you guys don't even like each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys figure that out yourselves. Don't bring the kid involved.
He made me so mad in that scene. Like, literally, when he said the bell, I was like, bro, straight up, die.
For some reason, I have in my heart that Mothma knows Cinta and likes Cinta, and Val was like,
when he said that, Mothma gave a little look to Val,
like a little smirk.
Maybe she doesn't know Cinta, but she knows something.
Yeah, in my heart, Val introduced her to Cinta, but it's okay. We don't know that yet.
Um, yeah, he sucks. Then after the dinner party, so Mothma tells Vel, like, be the spoiled girl. Um, and they have a nice little moment and they hug. And Vel says, Mothma's like worried about her, and Vel's like you're the one. Vel basically says like she'd rather be doing what she's doing than be. She calls Mothma's arena here like a prison essentially, which it very much is in a lot of ways. Not quite as bad as Cassian's prison. But still not great for her clearly. And it was nice to see Vel have some empathy for that because it would have been very easy and very understandable for Vel to be like, "You're not a real rebel. Like I'm shooting people," And Vel having that understanding was very nice to see.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was like refreshing for Mothma too.
Yeah, man.
To have someone on her side for once.
Yeah, because she doesn't have anyone. Like even like Luthen, but they're a little bit tense too. So having someone just stand with her, even if they couldn't do it together, like publicly, it's very nice for her, I'm sure. Then the last shot of Mothma is or in that scene is a beautiful shot of her framed by the like giant door frame thing, hallway entrance. It was just beautiful, and I really liked looking at it. Someone overlaid it with the Rebel logo, and it like matched composition pretty nice, which was cool.
Yeah. So
There's another Mothma scene. This one. I forgot about this one. So Tay and Mothma are talking about money. So she has her secret revolution thing that's masquerading as a charity. And Tay is like, look, people are noticing like 400,000 credits moving around. And Mothma is like I don't really have too much money right now to like be moving around like this. And she needs a loan. And Tay's like, I can't give you a loan. You should talk to Davos Skulden, another very Star Wars name.
A gangster.
And yeah, he's a gangster.
The Hutts are gangsters.
Yeah, and Tay's like, look, like we don't have a choice. Like there's a lot of new, like very hard laws with like taxes and things like that. And Tay's like, he wants to meet you, and she's like, you already talked to him, and he's like, look, we're running out of time. So this coming episode, I think we have that a meeting with a gangster to look forward to. Pretty cool. Yeah, no Luthen in this episode, I just realized. No Luthen or Claire.
We do. We had Luthen, because then he talks to Saw Gerrera.
That was last episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
we talked about that already.
No Luthen then.
No Luthen.
False alarm, no Luthen.
No Luthen. That's okay. Yes, we have talking about Cassian now. In the prison. Yeah, so they're still making their little weird wheel things. I don't know what they are.
You think it's for the Death Star?
I feel like that'd be kind of obvious, but like I feel like it probably is. Also, because then it's like, wow, like Cassian technically helped build the thing that killed him.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like the things that they could be building.
I feel like Death Star parts make sense. I also just because of how massive the Empire is, they need millions of like everything, So like this could be a part in like a Star Destroyer, or even just like something in a TIE fight. Like this could be anything.
Yeah,
I like to think Death Star because I just really like the idea of like not that I like it, but you know what I mean. Like I think it's a good parallel. Like Cassian helped build the Death Star, and then it killed him, but also he killed it essentially. So,
eventually.
Yeah. Also, yeah, and it's that's also in his prison sentence that he was sentenced to more years than he ends up actually living. Poor Cassian, man, can't catch a break.
No.
So they're still building their things. Olaf, the old guy from before, his hand or something is injured and he's not keeping up as much, but Cassian switches with him, so he has a different job, and they manage to do it.
Yeah.
And they're
But
like,
then he's
oh,
also
ooh,
forgetting things as well.
he's forgetting things. He's not keeping up. Like he's a very old man, very poor old man.
Mm-hmm.
Cassian goes on a little bathroom break, and he cuts a pipe or tries to. He like pulls a thing out of a panel, start cutting a pipe. So they have a new dude on the floor. So Cassian has to run back out and like they do their little pose while they're bringing the guy down.
On
And
program.
there is a guy, yes, on program. And there's another guy who I don't think we've seen before, at least not prominently. Who's talking to Cassian. They're figuring out like where the shocky floor is and where it isn't. Like it's not on the lift. And, like how like they're clearly planning a breakout kind of thing, which is pretty cool.
Pretty good. Much needed.
And then later they're like talking, everyone's talking, and they're like, oh, Olaf, you only have 40 shifts. You're almost out of here. And then you're like, oh no. Whenever someone's almost out of a prison or whatever, that's when something goes wrong in TV,
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Which was it? So yeah, they're done with work for the day and they're heading back to their rooms. Is this where the electricity happens? It didn't happen last episode. It happens this episode, right?
Well, so the first time when they're walking, there's like a bit of chaos and something on level 2, like the lights go out and there's like they're hand signaling to another level like they were before. And there's alarms and stuff. And they're trying to figure out like what's going on. The one guy is saying like there's something wrong in level 2, something wrong in level 2. Andy Serkis is like, no, there's not. Shut up. You don't know what they're saying. So that was
well,
the
especially because
first time.
they could get in trouble for saying anything.
Yeah. So then later, so when they're in their thing, Cassian's talking to Andy Serkis, and he's trying to get him to tell him how many guards there are.
Yeah, how many guards on each floor?
And Andy Serkis is like, I'm gonna be out of here in like less than a year. Like I'm not telling you anything. Like I don't care. And Cassian's like, come on, like they don't care about us. They're not listening. And he like yells out. He's like, nobody's listening, which is the name of the episode.
Yeah, which I like could be so frustrating, especially because like he's not getting help from this guy, even though they're very much all scared about literally what happened. Like the first thought that I had when I saw it out, like the electricity went out, and I was like, either that was an accident or on purpose. Either way, their whole thing relies on technology to like kill them. Like that doesn't sound good at all. So, Cassian, very valid. He is very focused on getting out as fast as possible.
And also, and so much good acting on this show. Diego Luna's that like crying out, nobody's listening. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's so good, bro.
And I still really love how he didn't like, because a lot of actors like usually they get rid of their accent when they are playing characters. Lately it hasn't been such, which is great, love it, but he never has, like even in Rogue One he still like had his accent and blah blah blah, and he emphasized it, and even if he didn't, like it was just so good, so perfect. And like I can hear it in every morsel of his little body. Like when he's saying nobody's listening, I was like, yes, he's angry. I feel like he just looks angry all the time. Like, how you can tell it because like I think we talked about how he just like his acting is really good, and when he's angry, like his little jaw like twitches because he's grinding his teeth. Like he looks like that 24/7. He just looks so mad.
Listen, he's
Which
in
is like,
prison, man.
yeah, which is like fair, but like it's so funny
Yeah,
sometimes.
and I think yeah, his acting's been so good, and I really like in this show, like when he gets to prison, it's not like immediately like, oh, Cassian gets to prison, but don't worry, he's the hero that breaks everyone out right away, and it's great. Like they show him like he's like very like depressed in that first episode,
Mhm.
and like they show that before he starts to gather his courage and become the leader that we know he is. And it's such an incredible joy to see. Because I feel like so many episodes, so many shows would skip that vulnerability, and they allowed Cassian to show that. And I think it was a good choice, and it was really, really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then later, Cassian, they're still working on stuff. Olaf is not doing well, and
No.
he ends up collapsing on their way back.
Mhm. Which is really
Um,
scary.
yeah. And so Cassian and Andy Serkis um, kind of prop him up and sit there and stay with him while everyone else has to go into their, I don't want to call it their rooms, their cells.
Yeah, it's very much their
Not
cells,
their
not
rooms,
their
their
rooms.
cell. I couldn't think of the word for a second. Their cells. Um, so a medic comes. Their medic is also a prisoner, and he like
Yeah.
puts a mask on him and is like taking care of him. He's like saying like he has a stroke. And he's like, he's like, I don't have anything to treat him, which basically means they're not giving me something to treat him. So he basically administers some drugs that euthanize him. And then Cassian is asking him very quietly because there are guards not far. Cassian is like, what happened on level 2?
Mhm.
And it takes some questioning, but eventually he finally says, he tells the guard to like go get a bag and trolley for Ula. And then as soon as that guard leaves, he tells him that a man who was released, who was supposed to have been released on level 4, got put on level 2 the next day to work. It's like they messed up. And then when people found out and they realized they killed everyone on level 2.
Yeah. Which is like
Um,
a weird, like, I guess because, they might rebel against it, especially because now they know like they're
they
they're
don't
not
get out,
ever
like they just
leaving.
go to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
I guess
I've
the idea is they normally, like, I guess I would assume they have a level so someone gets out and they put them to a level with other previously quote unquote released prisoners.
mhm.
They just put them on another level with them. So it's like people already know what's happening. But when they put them on a level with people who might be newer and still have like some energy and haven't been broken down yet, um, you know, then people are like, wait, like I just got here and I have my days and I'm not getting out. Like
Mhm.
they just killed everyone, man. Um, Crazy. And so the doctor actually says like, because Andy Circus is like, man, like he was about to get out, like he was almost done all his shift, and the doctor's like, he did get out because he wouldn't have gotten out otherwise, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Olaf.
I think just seeing like that guy Andy Serkis. Now I don't know his like Star Wars
Kino
name
Loy.
anymore.
I know his name, Kino Loy. I just keep calling Andy Serkis. It's easier.
um he like was so like to the point where he wasn't telling Cassian anything about like how to break out because um they he thought that he was just going to get out the right like
Mhm.
quotes like the right way.
He didn't want to get in
um
trouble and get more shifts when he's
yeah,
close.
so it's like it sucks and it's also so cool. It sucks, but it's interesting to see like him just immediately like break, like just get like his heart just shattered. um and then Olaf dies, and it also was nice because it seemed like he actually cared about Olaf too. I
He
think
was
he
very
cares about
compassionate. He's very mean to like Melshi. It's pretty harsh. He's so mean to Melshi, man. Poor Melshi. And he's pretty hard with Cassian, but he was so compassionate and nice to
Mhm.
um and then yeah, so after that, the guard orders um Cassian and Kino back to their cells, and as they're walking, Cassian asks again, he's like, how many guards are on each level? He says, never more than 12. And he's like, oh yeah, here's some breakout time, let's go. I'm so hyped for tonight's episode. I'm
I've
so
been
excited.
told by my dad that that quote has been memed so hard.
Well, so what happened was a lot of people posted like they quoted it in like never more than 12 and like an excited meme and like showed how excited they were. And then a bunch of people were like, wait, was that like a reference to something? Like, is that reference? Like, people just didn't seem to get it. Like, that people were just excited for a prison breakout. So they were like, is it referencing something? And then also, I've seen most of the memes I've seen using it have been actually from your dad. But
You. Yeah.
has been used a
The
little
only way I could think of like a meme of like culinary meme like
bit.
was like, you know, how many gnocchi on each dish? Never more than 12. Technically, we only put 4 ounces of gnocchi for an appetizer. Yeah. But uh it was I'm very excited for the prison breakout, but like I feel like no more than 12 people are gonna escape with their lives.
Oh, for
Um
sure. Honestly, we know Cassie and Amelchi are good. I
mhm.
think that might be about it. Straight up. Andy Serkis is not making it out. He's gonna have a change of heart and sacrifice himself dramatically. That's my prediction.
Mhm.
Um, I genuinely think, like, as far as the characters we know a little bit, like, I'm sure it'll be like, if they go a mass breakout route, not like a little tiny one, then like I'm sure it'll be like a whole bunch of people. But I think named characters, I think we're getting Cassie and Amelchi because they have to survive
Mhm.
straight up.
Unless
Uh,
he has a brother. And it's actually, yeah, that's why.
he takes on his brother's name in his honor.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and after Aldani, they're all dying unless they're on the poster or are in future Star Wars. That's how Val and Cinta survived. They were on the poster, and no one
Yeah.
else was from Aldani, the Cassian, obviously. Yeah, man, crazy. Well, I'm
Tough world
so
out there.
excited. We have 3 episodes left of Andor.
I'm
Season
surprised that
one.
we
I mean,
got so many episodes.
yeah, I think the longest live action series so far was Mando, which was 8.
Mhm.
So we get 12 of Andor. I'm not complaining. So good.
I'm not complaining at
I
all.
want 12 more.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm very excited for season 2. Tony Gilroy said Yavin 4, which we kind of knew, kind of had to, but still pretty cool. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
so I'm so excited. Unfortunately, Cyril does not die this season because
That we know of.
the actor posted a picture of him shaving himself for season 2, shaving his beard,
Dang.
um, to film season 2. So I mean, it could have just been like a joke, or
Yeah.
maybe it's flashbacks. But I was feeling,
Again, all hate to the
I'm
character,
sure
but
he'll.
all love to the actor.
No, actor, shout out to the actor. That is such. My hatred for him just shows how effective that acting is, dude. Um, yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah, man.
I'm I don't know. I really like this show, like to the point that I'm watching it on time, like a day of.
I
And
know.
I'm like so hyped for season 2. I hope it comes
hmm
soon, but
I know they're starting filming soon.
Mhm.
I mean, and at first, because I know I said like, oh, Acolyte just started filming, so it'll be a few years. Then I just realized like Ahsoka started filming shortly before Celebration last year, and we're supposed to get that this coming year. So could not be as long. I know with Andor season 1, they started filming a long time ago because I remember when that first set picture released, it was a while ago. But also COVID starting totally threw a wrench in it for them.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're starting filming soon, hopefully we can get it. But also, I'll wait as long as it takes to get more of this level of quality from Star Wars. Because holy crap, man,
Yes.
so incredibly crazy good.
Craziness.
I've been like begging, like even my friends that like aren't super into Star Wars. I'm like I know, like you're not as into the like like lightsabers and all that, but like this is like a real TV show.
It's very good, I
You
promise.
gotta watch it. It's so good. Yeah, shout out to Andor. Please be in Fortnite.
That's gonna
I
take
like talking
a
about
bit,
the top
though.
tier quality of the show and then being like, also, can we be in Fortnite, please?
I feel like
Fortnite's great, man. Yesterday, I was Spider-Gwen riding on the back of a wolf, wielding a lightsaber. What other
nice.
game can give you that?
I don't know, but I love it. I I haven't played Fortnite itself in a while because every time I do, my nerves get jittery because I get too hardcore into it. But also, I haven't played in
I
so long that now I kind of suck. So,
I've been playing for the past little while. I've been playing like almost every day, just like do the challenges to like slowly grind up so I can unlock Spider-Gwen. And then
mhm.
I unlocked Spider-Gwen a while ago, but I finally unlocked her face version yesterday, which was what I was shooting for too. And now I don't know what to do. Because like it's fun. I want to keep playing. But also I don't have the same incentive anymore. So
Mhm. Burnout.
uh, when they see me, I don't know, I also play a lot of Overwatch, so Overwatch is definitely taking precedence, especially now that I have my Spider Gwen.
Yeah, I did get the season pass
For
because
Overwatch?
yeah, because I was like, you know
Yay!
what? It's my first time. Also, like, I'm not gonna be able to level up enough to get Kiriko fast enough. And I really wanted to
Mm,
play as her because, like, I
she's
don't know,
super fun.
she seemed cool.
She's very
Um,
fun.
and then I watched Junker Queen's um
Cinematic.
her cinematic, and I was like, yes, I love this. Like, I already love this character, but like I love her even more. Um,
Have you watched Kiriko's cinematic?
yes, it was very cute. I liked it.
Yeah, Overwatch. I've just like binged because because the short stories and comics are also pretty good and they're short reads. Um, but I've also I like lately like just binged all the cinematics and all the origin stories, which doesn't take very long. But they're very very good. You should watch Rise and Shine. If you want to
Mhm.
cry, watch Rise and Shine. It's May's cinematic.
Oh, I've already seen spoilers, I guess, of what happened. So like I've been avoiding it because I'm like, I know it's sad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I uh I was
Um,
I was forced to watch Reinhardt's cinematic.
Reinhardt's is fun.
It was good.
The
It's
Honor
also
and
sad.
Glory one. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Diva has a good one. Shooting Star. Um, Junkrat and Roadhog have a very goofy one. It's like weird. It's like not on the cinematics playlist.
I hate them.
Um, really.
I hate any time I play against them, I
Oh,
hate it.
playing against them. Yeah, yeah, for
Characters
sure.
are fine, I'm sure, but like,
Yeah,
why
they're
is
fun.
this
They're fun.
man 700 health, pretty much one shots people, and can heal himself? I'm confused. And his healing is a shield.
Man,
Why?
really? Zary's so much worse than him, I think. I don't think Roadhog's that bad. Is it, if he hooks you, you're screwed, but he's not too bad,
Oh,
really.
I can usually get out of the hook but usually sometimes
Sometimes
only
it
if I'm
depends on the
Lucio.
character you're playing. Like when I'm Tracer, which I'm a lot. If you look at my career profile, you know that. It's pretty hard to hook me because I'm zipping around. But if he lands on me, 150 health, I'm pretty
Yeah.
much almost definitely down unless I manage to get lucky. Yeah, Overwatch has a lot of really good cinematics. Dragons is so good. Hanzo and
Mhm.
Genji. Alive is pretty good.
I was also told to watch Sigma's because
Oh, his
I
origin story. That's not a cinematic, but his origin story.
yeah, his origin
Yeah,
because like I guess
he's crazy. His story's so
I think it
sad.
was because there's like a trend going around on
The
TikTok that
meme of
I've been
him.
hearing.
What
Huh?
is that
Is
melody?
that melody? Like that's all I've been hearing. So I was told to watch it and it was okay. He just seems sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of really sad stories. Like Widowmaker's story is really sad, I think. Um, her cinematic doesn't go into it as much, but you read up on her. Um, I think the Last Bastion is also a really good cinematic. I recommend that one.
Yeah. Um,
Infiltration's fun.
yeah. This is
I
not
would
Andor.
say
We should
no,
have
it's not.
I
I would
think we
so
should have a
podcast about
slate.
Overwatch, bro. Oh, wait. Okay, hold up. So remember we did that show where Axel explained JoJo to us.
Yes.
I think we should explain Overwatch to Axel.
Hmm. I mean, I can. Like I have some knowledge now.
I will explain Overwatch to
Okay.
you and Axel. Ah, everyone should play Overwatch with me and send me your battle.net so I can with people. I play it a lot.
Yeah, I think
When I
for like tank, I'm usually Junker Queen. I've been playing a little bit as Diva, but like I'm not good at it yet.
Diva's my girl. I can destroy as Diva. I also play Orisa sometimes. Orisa's pretty fun on
Hmm.
tank. DPS, Tracer,
Um,
usually. Tracer's my absolute favorite. Um, she's literally me. Um,
I saw your TikTok.
she is
I
literally me.
yeah,
I
I
am slightly obsessed with
play
her.
as like Reaper, but sometimes only if like my team is doing really bad that I'm like, okay. I go in as Reaper. But also I've been enjoying 76. He's
He
kind
has
of
a good
cool.
cinematic too.
Yeah.
His
I
cinematic
like his dad
is in
outfit.
Mexico. Which one?
I don't know. It
Grillmaster
was yes.
with the shorts. I have that one. Back when they used to have free skins.
Well, you also paid for the game already
Yes,
too.
yes.
So like honestly, I should have got that, but I everyone was playing it and I was like, that's a lot of money. Not yet.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's okay. Um, Honestly, I think, as much as I miss grinding, um, I also like having like you get to play with me now. You know,
Hmm.
I have more people to play with, which is nice.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I think DPS I'm usually Tracer. I'm okay at Widowmaker. Okay. Sometimes I'm like a god at Widowmaker. Like I have a few clips of me like headshot after headshot, and then other times I like can't hit anything. Um, Honestly, I try to rotate DPS a little bit just because there's so many. Um, and it depends. Like some maps, like different maps are different. If I'm attack or defense or different modes, I might try and switch a little bit. But Tracer's always my go-to. Tracer's like, all right, I'm stuck in the dash right now. I got to pull out the big guns. The big guns are a tiny little British girl. Um,
Yeah. I for healer, I was doing Mercy for a little bit because I didn't know anyone else. And she's okay. She's not
Mercy's a good
awful or anything.
basic help to learn, and she is like if you pocket your tank as Mercy, you can be pretty good.
Yeah. But then I went to Lucio and I liked Lucio.
Lucio's
But
fun. I
then
always play Lucio on Ilios or what's the
yeah,
other one?
you're that
Nepal
kind of
Sanctum, I
Lucio.
think. Yeah, obviously.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, but now I play as Zenyatta.
Zenyatta's awesome.
I
I
like him.
played Zenyatta a little bit in Overwatch 1, and then I just hadn't played it as much in a little while. I've played a lot of Mercy. I like Mercy too. Um, and then I was like, let's pick Zenyatta. We haven't played Zenyatta in a while, and I was like, I forgot how much he rocks. He's so cool.
Mhm.
Love Zenyatta. I play Kiriko. Kiriko, I find I like to play on payload or push maps because her ultimate works with that kind of having an alley.
Mhm.
Compared to capture point where it can be a bit more open. Uh, yeah, we should totally. I would maybe after Andor ends and when things are a little slower, totally do an Overwatch podcast. I will.
Yes.
I would. I want to explain Overwatch to your dad and Axel and try to campaign for them to download it so we can play.
Well, Dad's only just getting into Fortnite right now, so
I do want to play Fortnite with your dad. I want to play Fortnite with your dad and the Blue Harvest guys.
yeah.
Blue
I
Harvest
can
guys,
play on
invite me
his
to your
account now
Fortnite game.
too. We can play at the same time, which is weird how that works, but I'll do it until it crashes.
Invite me to your Fortnite squad. I'm okay. I've gotten better. I was Fennec and I was sniping people the one time and I got a victory royale.
Nice.
And then in the next game, I landed on top of a tree by accident and jumped out and died immediately. So, it varies. It varies.
It's okay.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot better at Overwatch though.
Yay! I'm very excited. So when it was paid and they had so they had the Halloween event recently, which but they would do different events. They had a Christmas event, which was always pretty fun. I like the May snowball modes, and it was just like Kingsborough. They like added snow on like some of the maps and made them super pretty. I'm excited for because when they had a battle pass, I was worried they weren't going to do events anymore, but they did the Halloween event very well, so I'm very excited now. So they had the Christmas event and anniversary. They had summer games in the summer. I think that's it. Halloween. Oh, they had Lunar New Year, which was always pretty cool. But my favorite event, anniversary was nice, but anniversary was just like everything combined. My favorite event was Archives because they had little story modes, little backstory modes. They had one story mode that was Tracer's first mission with Overwatch. And then another one that was Blackwatch's last mission. I'll explain all these in the Overwatch podcast. And then we had another one that was a different Overwatch mission. But I always love those little story modes. I thought they were really fun because Overwatch is not a story game, but I really like the story of it and behind it. So I always like getting
Yeah.
the story mode. And they
Having
usually
lore
came with
behind your characters is great. Like just
yeah,
like marketing wise and also just like for your game in general.
yeah, and some characters definitely have more lore than others, but it's like like I can look at like Tracer's my favorite, so I'm a little spoiled because she gets a lot more content than most. But I'm like, I can look at Tracer and be like, I can watch cinematics about her and read comics about her. She doesn't have a short story, but
Mhm.
and stuff, which is cool. So they said they're going to start adding story modes year round starting next year in Overwatch 2, and I'm very excited.
I think they're adding a new character right now.
They're adding starting in December, they're adding Ramatra, who was first introduced actually in the very last scene of the Black Watch, one of those story modes. Is at the end and it's like Doomfist walks up to him and this mysterious guy in a cloak, this mysterious robot, and he's like, you finally come to me, you need my help or whatever. He says something. And then he like takes his hood down and it's like, oh, I don't know who that guy is. Am I supposed to know who that guy is? And finally gonna be in the game and he looks super cool. He has a big stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is not an Overwatch podcast, but it will be.
One day it will happen.
For sure. So
Yeah.
yay.
That was a podcast.
That was a podcast. We talked about Andor, talked about Acolyte. I need to eat dinner.
Yeah, I also I had dinner, but I want soup.
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 Soup is good. I got I'm going off the rails again. I found like a can and it was like vegan chicken noodle soup. And I was like, oh, that's
Hmm.
interesting. It's like a canned noodle soup. It's like, oh, I'm gonna try that. That sounds good. It wasn't very expensive. It was
Yeah.
garbage.
Oh.
So bad. It was not, it just like, it didn't have any flavor and I like tried to add a few things to it and it was just not good.
What was in it?
It was, I mean, it was like some noodles, some veggies, some like faux chicken. It wasn't like the worst thing ever, but my hopes were high and they were severely not met.
Yeah. I I make kimchi soup, so if you can like do you like kimchi? Have you had
I
kimchi
do, I
before?
love kimchi.
Kimchi soup is so easy. Just take garlic if you have it, and if not, that's fine. I
I
literally
do have garlic.
get garlic, ginger if you have that, ginger
I don't.
scallions, and then put it in like cook it for a little bit with some oil, and then add your kimchi, and then add like
Mm,
stock if you have it, and then
I
that's pretty
do.
much it. That's like I put tofu in it when I do,
Mm,
and spam.
I have to. That
It's
sounds really good.
beautiful. It's
I just
delicious.
bought stuff for vegan sloppy joes. So that's what
Ooh,
I'm gonna eat for like a week.
is that
That's how I
jackfruit?
do. No, so I can make them with jackfruit. These are very lazy sloppy joes. You take a
Oh,
can of manwich sauce and some vegan beef crumbles, just like whatever brand, and just mix them together. That's sloppy joes. Super easy,
hmm,
super quick.
nice.
I did
Sounds
make
good.
vegan pulled pork and ate that for a little while. That was jackfruit and stuff.
Hmm. I made
Someday I will be able to cook for you and you'll be able to cook. You have cooked for me before. I'll be able to cook for you real food.
yeah,
It'd be nice. I make good
that's
cookies.
good.
The reviews are always good on my cookies.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I've had your cookies before. They're delicious.
You have, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
so my
like
apartment
once.
now, so they were like fully stocked kitchen. You have all this. We have a rice cooker, all these very nice things. Very nice. Thank you, apartment.
Yeah.
So we have measuring cups, like a cup, half cup, quarter cup, third cup. So I was making cookies and I realized we don't have measuring spoons. We don't have
Oh.
tablespoon, teaspoon, half tablespoon, like none of that. So I was just like, and and I had never noticed before when I was cooking because I was like, I don't need to measure my like cumin, whatever, just throw it in, feel the
Mhm.
vibes. Then I was
Yeah.
baking and I was like, oh no, this is chemistry. So but we have different size like regular spoons. So I was like, I'll just use these. It turned out okay. I was very nervous.
That's
But
good.
also I've made that cookie recipe like 100 times, so I kind of know when it's off. So
Yeah, I'm horrible at baking. I don't like I could try, but it's not my biggest suit. And I think it's funny because I went to go eat at a kitchen today and it's run by culinary students. And nothing against culinary students. I am one, but we suck at baking. Like they had a dessert, but every time they make a dessert, they always put an ice cream. And the ice creams are good, but they're always melted because they just like it's kind of like a buffet and they thought like, "Oh, yes, good idea. Put dessert out that requires ice cream that requires refrigeration, but that we can't provide that." And it's not very smart. But they're trying their best. Um yeah, I did that's my rant about us being trying to baking a pastry. Um I did make a cake once, but it was a box cake. But I think I frosted it like really nice. Like it looked like I made it from
that's
scratch.
my weakness is frosting things. I can make frosting fine, but my weakness is making it nice and smooth when I
Yeah.
actually frost the cake.
I think like art wise, I'm okay. Like, cause I was like I had to do piping homework for my one baking and pastry class that barely taught me anything about baking and pastry. And we had piping homework to like pipe out words, like certain letters and happy birthday and like numbers. And I was decent at it. But I can't actually put something together.
Oh.
But it's okay. So if you need your cake to be good, you go to Zoe. If you want it pretty, it's gonna be.
Well, see,
And then
I'll
if
make
you-
the
you
cake
can
and then
get
I'll give
both.
it to you.
Yeah, best of both worlds. Best cake ever. We should do that for like, I'm trying to think whose birthday is next. I guess technically mine. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be a good time.
Figure it out. Well, that was a podcast.
Yeah. We do
Um,
need to do plugs.
Yes. So, Star Wars Geek Girl is Star Wars Geek Girl on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at SWGeekGirl, and StarWarsGeekGirl.com. We have a monthly poll, book reviews on Mondays. I have one more book to review because I finished all the books, and then another one came
Nice.
out. So I'm
Oh.
reading that one, and then I will be finished all the books again until the next one.
Your
comes
work
out.
is never done.
No, never. I still have to read the comics. I don't think I'm going to review the comics. I'm just going to say that now. There's a lot of them. There's so many.
Yeah.
Quizzes on Wednesdays and blog articles on Fridays.
Nice. For the Rogue Rebels, you have theroguerebels.com, Instagram and TikTok at the Rogue Rebels, Twitch at Rogue Rebels, podcast wherever you're listening to Star Wars Geek Girl, Facebook page, the Rogue Rebels, Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam. And then there's also my Twitter that's like, I went to the Apple store to get my Apple Pencil fixed, and then they were mean to me and they were like, just update it. It's your fault. You just need to update your iPad. And I was like, oh, and then like, cause I made a whole appointment for this. And then they were like, yeah, just update it. Peace. And they left. And I was like, oh, okay.
Did it
Well,
work?
nope, it's not working. So I had to go in again. And then the guy that we had this time was nicer. And he was like, yeah, it sure looks broken. I was like, thanks. I kind of knew that. So I need to trade it in, but also they don't have it on stock, so I have to order it. So, and then they're gonna text me when it's ready to pick up, and then I gotta drive an hour to the Apple store. It's a process, but I hope to post actual more art stuff rather than doodles from school. But yeah, that's I think at Rogue Rebel S. Or Keith Gergo, still going strong since he hasn't changed his name yet. And yeah.
For me, you can find me at Azoika, AHZOEKA, on Twitter, and at Spectre5. I forgot my handle. Spectre_5, 5 written out, not the number, on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
yeah,
good.
thank you so much for listening. Follow us and look at all the things. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
May the horse be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.